everybody, my name is Holly Lamb and welcome to Lamb Living. Today in this video I'm going to be doing 3 different DIYs, playing with my crafting supplies and preserving some sand dollars that my husband picked up on Jekyll Island, and we'll talk more about that in just a little while. There's some of my sand dollars that I preserved. I am a part of the Hello Summer crafting collaboration, and so we're going to be talking a little bit more about these lovely ladies in just a little while. And there's a great playlist in my description box, and of course then you can't have a summer crafting video without some lemons, so we'll come back to that one as well. All right, now here are some sand dollars that my husband picked up on Jekyll Island, and here is a map. That's St. Simon's. The 2 yellow islands there are, I live on St. Simon's, and then my husband was riding his bike on Jekyll one day, and he texted me and said, texted me some pictures and said, look, there's sand dollars all over the place. Do you want them? And I said, yes, pick me up some. And so he picked up a bunch of them. There were just all kinds of them. And so I proceeded to start cleaning them. And you have to kind of tap out all the sand and whatnot. Here on St. Simon's and Jekyll, we have beautiful beaches, but they certainly aren't white sandy beaches. They have that dark sand. But you just kind of clean those off. And then I rinsed them. And I'm going to get my Clorox spray. Now, I use bleach, but you can use peroxide if your sand dollar's a little more dear. Maybe you've been to the beach and you got 1 or 2 and they're really special and you want to treat them with a little more care. You can use peroxide and just kind of soak them in hydrogen peroxide for, a day or so, and they'll usually will come nice and white. But I had a bunch of them, and they were kind of small, so I just bleached them and put them in the sun. And then most of them did great after 1 bleaching, and so I rinsed them off, kind of hosed them down outside just gently, and then I brought them in here to dry. And the ones that are going on the paper towel, those are the finished ones, and they're going to dry. And then those on just the tin there, I'm going to bleach them again and put them out in the sun one more time, and that did it. And some of them just need a little bit more time. And then after you bleach them and let them set for a little while, you just rinse them off. And then you have to preserve them, you have to put some kind of glue and water, solution. PVC glue is fine. Aleene's tacky glue is fine. You can use, I'm just using the Jock glue from the Dollar Tree, and I mixed in a little bit of water, and then you just paint them on. Now I put them on those skewers just so they won't gather glue as they dry on the bottoms. And then I'm going to flip them over, and I'm blowing out the glue out of the holes, because I don't want any glue to show. And so I paint them on, I blow out the glue out of the other side and let them kind of drip out. And because this glue is really thin, I've watered it down, it's not really gonna kind of, gum up on you. And so what I've done here, that's after the flip. Now I'm just making sure there's see how that little driplet of glue right there? I'm just getting rid of those and then placing them on a piece of parchment, and then they dry and they are ready to go. Now if you don't put the glue on there, they're apt to be very brittle. And so the glue really helps strengthen them up, and you don't have to worry about them breaking on you so easily. Now I'm gonna make a little garland for my mantle. And so I'm just taking 2 lengths of twine that I measured to be just a little bit longer than my mantle, because I'm going to hook it on a command hook that I have on the ends of the top part of the mantle on the ends. I'm going to show you a picture here in just a second. There we go. I just put that command hook there with the Velcro command strips, and then I can switch it out for anything I want to hang there on my mantle. And so I have my largest sand dollar in the middle, And then I did 12 on each side, kind of a graduated size from biggest to smallest. And then I just put 2, I thought they would hang nicer with 2 lengths of twine. And here it is. In last week's video, it was a red, white, and blue themed video. And so I had those for Memorial Day and the 4th of July coming up. But then I just put this little extra bit of adornment to the mantle, and I think it's just the thing. I can take the red, white, and blue banners off. There's the command hooks that I have on the top. And it's holding both of those. Of course, they're not real heavy, but they still are just beautiful. And then I also use these sand dollars for scatter. And so here it is on my foyer table, just looking very beachy and summery, welcoming everyone into my home. All right, so now let's move on to some IOD, Iron Orchid Designs fun. I had this vase that I've used many times. You can tell it's had some water in it, in and out, and it needed a little, need a little touch up. So I took that antique parchment gloss, apple barrel paint, because I thought before I had just painted the vase with chalk paint, I used 3 coats of chalk paint, but you saw where, it had started to chip a little bit. And so I thought I'm going to put a gloss coat on here because I like to use this one for flowers when I get flowers from the store, or whoop, finally got that drip that was bothering me. Or when my husband brings home flowers from Sam's, a lot of times he'll do that. And so I wanted a gloss coat. So I'm going to take, this is IOD's Lemon Drop. And this transfer set has been out for a while. And I've linked my IOD stockist is Deb down at Cottle & Gun in St. Mary's, Georgia. And I order online all the time. And she sends it out within a couple of days. I get it. They're super fast down there, real sweet people. And every once in a while we get to go down there and look around her fun shop. But most of the time I just order online because it's just real quick. And so anyway, I've linked her website down below, or you might have an IOD stockist near you want to check out. So I'm just putting this transfer on. You probably have seen creatives use these transfers before. You have to kind of trim them up, especially on these rounded surfaces. And then you take that backing paper, and I'm just going to trim a little piece off, and then I'm just going to rub hard. And I'm going to burnish it on to where it is on for sure. And I have to trim it out. See, I'll trim in between the lemon and the leaf so that leaf will lay down nicely. And so I just kind of make it work. And smaller sections are easier on curved surfaces. So think smaller sections. And then it was just a little bit too glossy for me. If you've seen any of my videos, I like everything to have something of a matte finish. Even though gloss is kind of in these days, it's, in little bits for me. I still like that matte finish. So I'm going to give this, see, it's very shiny. Very shiny. I use that gloss. So now it's protected at least against any water I get on it from having live flowers in there. But I'm going to kind of give it a matte finish, not with wax. I'm just going to use my plaster chalk paint and water it down a lot, about half and half. And then I'm just going to wipe it back. And it's going to retain that kind of semi-gloss, we'll say. It has a little bit of a whitewashed look to it, and it's just what I like. And I'm even going to do it on the inside, even though that's going to wash off eventually. We'll give it a nice finished look here. And so here I have them with some pinwheels that I bought at Hobby Lobby on clearance last year. And then here they are. Here I bought some thistles at Harris Teeter. These are live little blue thistles, and I just love the way those look. It's greenery, but just has that little hint of blue, which my great room is decorated with blue. And there, of course, is Toby. Hey, buddy. And so now let's move on to my last DIY. And we're off to Hello Goodbye, my favorite thrift store here in Glenn County. And I like the little section where in the kitchen section where all the wood, like the cutting boards and things are. I found this little cutie for $2, and then that went in my basket as well. It was $1, that solid wood charger. Oh, that one will be in a video to come. Look at here, Formica. I haven't seen that word in a while. So this little tray, it was nice, very sturdy, but needed a little bit of a update, a little bit of a makeover. So I'm upstairs, I got the heat tool out, and I'm trying to get rid of this sticker that's obviously been on there for a long time. I don't know who's talking to me there. I see somebody's phone, probably Hope. And so I am finally getting this sticker off, and then usually the price tags don't give me trouble, but this one was stuck on there pretty good. But $2 for this nice sturdy tray, and all the details will just turn out beautiful when they're painted, and then I'm gonna finish it off with some rub and buff. But we'll see that in a minute. All right, so the back is eventually gonna get spray painted, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm gonna put 3 coats of, actually I think I wanna say I did 2 coats of the chalk paint, because I knew I was prepping for a paint inlay. I have been a little wary of the IOD paint inlays, as most people are to begin with. But this is, of course, just plaster chalk paint by Waverly, and it's not plaster, it's the color plaster, which is a little off-white. And so I'm going to put this paint on the front, and boy, I'm showing you a lot of that. I'm going to get it on nice and smooth as I can, and then I'm going to put a paint inlay. Now when you do the inlay, you have to inlay it into actual paint. And so when there we go, there's 1 coat, and then there's a little streaky still. And yes, I did do 2 coats now that I'm thinking about it. There was the 2nd coat, and then when I do the inlay, I'm going to put in 1 more coat. That's my 3rd coat. You know, that's my usual, is 3 coats of chalk paint, and then if I distress back or if I do any wet distressing, then I have that nice solid coat. And so I'm taking it outside, and I'm going to use this satin ivory. It's a Krylon, has a primer in it, and I'm going to put that on the back so that it's, you know, nice and tough and can take any kind of wear and tear. And so I'm just got it back there on this old, bless this little wicker chair's heart. It's had lots of white spray paint on it. I think that's what's holding this wicker chair together by this point. All right, now here's the melange paint inlay. This is the one that I bought, and I decided to use this artichoke picture for my first paint inlay. Oh goodness. I was a little nervous about it, but I'd seen other creators do it, and I was sure I could do it. Oh, little strawberries. And I counted, and there's basically about 28 to 30 different projects in that paint inlay, which makes it about $1.50, $1.75 per picture or per project. But this paint inlay has a bunch of pictures and gorgeous roosters and labels and beautiful things. And so I'll be doing lots of paint inlays this summer, I got a feeling. So here goes coat number 3. And I want to put it on just as smooth and I want to say thin, but I didn't put it on super thin because I wanted to have plenty of paint to embed this this paint into, because on that picture there is actually paint. And so that is what I'm going to be putting it paint side down with the grid side toward me into this paint. Let it dry, and I'm just spritzing that with water just to kind of get that paint going. And there we go. It's in the wet paint, and then I'm going to take just a wet rag. That's just one of my dish rags there. And I'm going to use my brayer and make sure that that paint is embedded into that last layer of chalk paint. And I haven't tried to use Mod Podge or the liquid patina yet, but that certainly is to come. I'm going to be trying that because I've seen other creators use that as well. But I decided I'm going to use the paint first. It's called Paint Inlay. And so here I am. You spritz the paper, and then I'm just getting the extra kind of pooled up water off the top. There, I'm still a little nervous. I'm still putting it on. And so there we go. You see the grid side up. Now it's dry. I let it dry for about an hour or 2 hours. And then you come back and I spritzed it again with water so that it gets dark again. So like it's wet again. But hopefully, since it dried, it has dried into the paint that I put down. And then here comes the 30 seconds. Then we wait. You spritz it, and then you wait 30 seconds. And wonder if I'm going to get a full transfer or if I'm going to have spotty spots. And so here we go. And oh my goodness, success. Oh, and then I'm so excited. And I laid it on a piece of parchment paper to dry. Oh, I love it. Now notice you can kind of see the line where that paper, the transfer paper was. And so I just take my paintbrush with a little bit more plaster chalk paint and I kind of swirl that into where the paper wasn't, and you can't even see where it was. The line just disappears. The line where the transfer paper was, and then you let that transfer paper dry, and I should be able to use that again. And they say up to 2 more times. You have about 3 times you can use it. And so we'll give that a try as well. Now I'm just putting my favorite top coat, the Rust-Oleum Matte Clear top coat on there. You spray it on, and then I'm going to take this antique gold rub and buff, and there's a little bit of texture on the edge where that silver kind of, I don't know, it wasn't even pewter. It looked like pewter, but it was not even a pretty silver. It was not silver for sure, but not even plated. But there is a texture, and so I'm going to bring that out a little bit. And just when you do this rub and buff, you just actually rub it in good and hard. And so there I go, push, push, push. I put it on, and then I rub it in. And that's what makes it kind of have that nice burnished look to it. And so I did it on the handles and that outer edge of the tray, and I just love the way this looks. I'm so excited. My first paint inlay was a success, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Look at that. Look, those artichokes. My daughter was just over a little while ago, and she was looking at it, and she said, I think I might have to move a few things around at my house. I said, well, you go ahead and take it if you want to. So here they are with our little lemons and my which were transfers. Gosh, I love to use transfers. They're so fun. They're like stickers for adults. And I have them there on my little kitchen table. And then we have our those pretty lemons. Look like watercolor. Just gorgeous. I just love those. I want to thank Tammy from the Rusted Willow, and Ellie from DIY from House to Home, and Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack for hosting this fun collaboration to say hello to summer. And I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel. And I wanted to read to you from Galatians 5 verses 22 and 23. This is for the fruits of the Spirit. Paul says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. The fruits of the Holy Spirit. So much fun. I just love those beautiful sand dollars, beautiful art of the sea. I want to thank you again for watching, and I hope that you will come back and watch more videos. At the end of this video, you'll see a playlist and some other suggestions. Be sure to come back. So from the blue house on the corner, I wish you a happy start to your summer. God bless, and